Yo, what's happening, my people? Welcome to Dean's Vlogs. That's right. This will be, I think, my first video. Hopefully, first of many. We shall soon find out. Super excited, guys. If you don't already know, I've been a wannabe successful trader for too long now. Too long. It has been a journey and a half. I would make a phenomenal investor moving forward. Um, that's sure, and I think I've always made good decisions in terms of the right buys over the last few years, but my impulsive nature has made me screw that up when I started investing about 7, 8 years ago. Longer actually, when I bought my first house. Um, but yeah, anyway, the fluctuations when I got into crypto back in 2018 and losing a lot of money, making a lot, losing a lot, made me really interested in learning how to trade the fluctuations. And I started learning how to trade 2020. I can't believe we're in 2026, and I'm still not a profitable, consistent trader, which is absolutely mind blowing to me. I want to say I've spent all my time and energy doing that. That's not quite true. It's been a gradual process. I spent a lot of that time enjoying myself um, and healing, finding peace within myself, and so on and so forth. Love in a multitude of ways. Um, but guys, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I've studied the markets for thousands of hours, and I I know how. What's the best way to put it? I know how to read the market, shall we say, in many ways. But finding the right system um, that matches my psychology and allowing my psychology to match and so on and so forth has just been an absolute nightmare. I mean, in the first 2 years, maybe 2020 to 2022, I probably was just like gambling. I think I started on the 3 minute chart. My first exposure to learning anything in trading was this guy called Sandy Sadeji. You might be familiar. A few things have carried through from what he said, some more mysterious, cryptic things, and some general knowledge, but nothing that's actually made me money or that I've wanted to stick to. And then obviously I've gone on my own journey. Most everything I've created to this day and experimented with has come from just learning from studying the market more than anything else. And I know in the last like maybe 3 years, I started to listen to a lot more trading podcasts and feel more connected with the trading community, shall we say, in one way, shape, or form. And and basically just kind of like slowly just digest what a lot of these greats are saying and letting that sit with me over time and take from there. But guys, I spent I'd say my first 2 years was just gambling. My third year, I don't even know what that was, and then maybe kind of the last 2 years is where I've really been focused on building something. So I developed like a system. I've just got a relationship with Bitcoin, let's say, and I made up. I called myself the flow state trader, right? Where I can essentially just see where Bitcoin is going on the day chart every day, and there was like 7 or 8 different moves, 25, 26 variations. But honestly, guys, it's just too much mental fatigue doing that every single day. It just wasn't the vibe. I'd say, I only work for an hour a day, but the truth is, none of it was yielding the results. And actually, mentally, it was absolutely draining. I just like couldn't get my head in that space to study that particular bar or candle on that particular day at a set time, whilst taking into account all the context and then keeping up to date with the management of that one trade. Honestly, I know 3 minute charts didn't work for me, but even the day chart didn't work for me because it meant holding a trade for multiple days. My mind would then find ways to add to the positions in a calculated fashion and add that to my rules, and so on and so forth. And it's just too taxing, guys. And what I've always found is I like the thought of quick money. Now, I don't mean that in the sense of you learn a skill and you make money tomorrow. I don't mean it like that. I want to feel that daily fulfillment from trading, right? I've got into a trade today and I'm pretty much out the same day or maybe kind of within 24-hour period, okay? And yeah, the 3 minute chart wasn't working. It just didn't give me time to like process what's happening. You kind of my mind couldn't keep up. It's just totally ridiculous. And then the one day, 100%, if I was to sit with a bank, build a team, I'm sure I can make millions and millions and billions of dollars from it. There's no doubt. But where I'm at the moment, I need to make it kind of on my own at this stage, I feel. And I need to feel like I'm getting that momentum in, those daily results are coming, that feedback loop is a lot faster. Um, and yeah, and I'm pleased to say I finally stumbled across that. Okay, so I started on the 3 minute 6 years ago, 2 years of gambling, 3 years I started to get more serious, and the last 2 years I've been building that system on the day chart. Now I've taken my knowledge from the day chart, and I've acknowledged many of things I've listened to and felt and can see. I mean, at the end of the day, your results are the ultimate feedback, right? I'm not making money, guys, and it's just driving me insane. It's totally unbelievable because I can read the markets in many respects, right? I can see these patterns, I can see them playing out, I can get hyper specific and so on and so forth. But for me, it was about how do I take a trade from multiple days to just a system that operates within a 24-hour period per trade, and it's simple enough. And again, I must say, I'm going to call out Mamba FX. I'm going to call out Alex G, two guys I look up to in the trading space, simply because they're making a lot of money, um, and they live a nice lifestyle. But more to the point, they never really talk about trading because everything they're doing is so simple. Okay, everything, what I've noticed to a lot of the greats is everything they're doing is just simple. And they always say trading is 98% psychology, whatever it may be, 80%. Guys, it's 100% true, right? It's psychology in the sense that you need to obviously understand risk management, stick to the same plan every day, make sure you've got that confidence behind your back testing and your forward execution. However, it's also psychology and understanding your limits mentally, like how your system needs to be simple enough for you to be able to execute it on every single day with a smile on your face, with joy, with confidence, not something that is like this huge puzzle in your mind, because that's what my big system is. And again, with a team in the right hands, it would do phenomenal. Like, it's unbelievably accurate. And so is what I'm doing now. But I wanted to strip it all back and bring something simple to the table. Okay, I want to be able to execute daily. Okay, one trade a day, take no more than an hour. That's always been my goal. That's what my daily, and it doesn't tax me mentally and physically. And I can kind of do my analysis on the day, draw up my chart according to the session, New York session, by the way, and make my decision. Okay, and just here's my entry, here's my exit, and here's my stop loss. Just you know pure numbers, type it in, set and forget, walk away, come back the next day, likely hit TP, we move on to the next session the next day. Okay, simple. The trade in my mind expires at that 24. As soon as it comes to the next session, that trade's expired, whether it's hit TP, hasn't triggered, or hasn't, it's just in the middle. So reset. I like that. I like that. Yeah. I don't want to be going to a trade. I don't want to enter a trade today and then I go back to tomorrow's session 24 hours later and we still haven't started the real move and it's consolidating in the same move and then it's moved a little bit. Some days it will move sharp, great, but I don't want the taxing nature of it, and also I need something that I can execute on with minimal mental fatigue. I'll repeat that again. Anyway, guys, wow, I'm excited because I'm in a position now where I've put in tons of personal capital. Unfortunately, most of my liquid capital was wasted in an era when I wasn't really about this life of trading. Like, I didn't really study the markets. I didn't really have the lens I see through now, right? The whole risk to reward, understanding entries, understanding market structure and exactly the positioning, and had my kind of edge in multiple ways and whatever it may be. I didn't have any of that, so I blew through a lot of my capital, which also, emotionally affected me massively, and that carries on with you. Some longer than others, and sometimes it defeats people. A lot of people it just defeats, and that's the end of it. But I'll never be defeated. I might feel it temporarily sometimes, but I know where I'm going. and I'm about it. It's just I don't give up on things. I'm very stubborn. But the good news is I do, and sometimes it takes me longer than other times. I do adjust my ways. If something's not working, I am adaptable. I do start to review. I do start to notice, and I do start to shift and move where I need to move. So I'm pleased to say, currently in a position whereby I've burnt through a bunch of capital, and that's not what I'm pleased to say, by the way. I've burnt through a bunch of capital, and I've done tons of like challenges, which I stopped about a year and 4 months ago, something like that. And I made some money on them. Didn't make as much as I hoped. The consistency wasn't there. Whatever it was, more things I can get into, but I'll leave that for now. But right this second, I have bought my first funded account. Okay, my first funded account after a year and 4 months. And honestly, guys, I'm gonna say it right here, it'll be easy for me to pass. And honestly, with a couple of provisions, it should be pretty easy for me to keep. Okay, I'm very confident this time round. Now, what I don't advise, and this is what I've kind of been doing, which is probably it hasn't held me back because I was doing what I've been doing to feel the confidence that I have now. Um, yeah, I've been doing what I've been doing to get to the point where I feel the confidence I have now, right? I didn't want to mess around with any more challenges, but what I have been doing is messing around with small accounts, and honestly, that's very taxing. It's very exhausting. I need to know that I go into a trade and I do my normal trade, on a reasonable sized account, and I'm going to walk away with, $1,000 in a day, just from one little trade. Anything less than that, it just doesn't get me excited. I'm just like, I don't know what it is. I'm not wired to respect a trade that's anything less than 1,000. Like I need to make at least 1,000, 2,000 minimum per trade. Otherwise, I feel like I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my energy. I feel like I'm going backwards. And yeah, flipping a small account is not the vibe. Yeah, I'd rather make a grand, 2 grand, 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand on a trade in a day, and that's already massively had a positive impact on my month, right? Rather than I made 100 quid. It's not going to do it for me. It just doesn't. And then I want to start compounding my percentage. I'm not interested. I'd rather compound my percentage when I'm in a position that my capital is already healthy, right? My life doesn't change if I go from making 10 grand a month to 70 grand a month. Like it's going to change, but not in a survival way, right? Not in a peace of mind way, right? If I'm making 5, 10 grand a month from trading, cool. I'm super calm now. So I can like compound an account and scale up 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand a month. Sure, it's going to come with its challenges, but it's not going to come with the challenges. Oh, this is going to affect my survival. This is going to affect my day to day stress. No, right? If my bills are taken care of and I've got some, happy disposable money coming in from trading, then I can start messing around with the rest, right? And I don't feel the pressure. Whereas you're compounding at a point where you're kind of relying or kind of like not out of that survival mindset in a way, it's not the vibe. So join me on my journey. Okay, this is not a trading channel, by the way. This is just me vlogging. I've always wanted to do YouTube. I've always procrastinated, but here I am, not procrastinating. Let's get on with it. I'll probably pull up some subtitles here if they're not. I'm sure. Hopefully you got them right here. Um, you know, I need to get to 1 million subs. It's as simple as that. I don't know how long that journey is going to take. Could take a month somehow. I don't think so. A year, 2 years. I don't know. But I'm not about the numbers. Honestly, I'm just here for the journey. That's what trading has taught me. And honestly, guys, I enjoy kind of the journey of everything. Obviously, there's one thing I can say is just simplify everything in your life and just get to the point and just like learn as fast as you can. It's another thing I like about my new way of doing things on the 30-minute chart is that my feedback loop is so much faster than when I was trading the day chart. One trade would take a week, and then that's like a whole week to just take the information of where I've gone wrong or how the market is moving and so on and so forth. Whereas now I'm getting that whole feedback cycle compressed into 7 days. That also means I make my money 7 times faster, and more to the point, I actually make money because it's a much more simple strategy that works with my psychology and my being. But anyway, you can follow me on the journey, see how I get on. Let's see how I get on with this first funded account. Hopefully, post the first payout on here, I'm sure, and the first of many to come. and then we'll start up the personal again at some point alongside. We'll see how we go. But it's also another cool day today, aside from training and just vlogging in general, because this is kind of one of the last few days in this flat. Okay, so my missus originally rented this flat back in, I think, 2019, 2020, something around there. And we met not much longer after. And then before you know it, I've ended up moving in, and we kind of this became our place, our love nest, or whatever you want to call it. And we've had a great time here. Admittedly, maybe the last year or two, we could have maybe done with a little bit of change. We probably didn't appreciate the location and the flat as much as we did in the first 3-4 years. But God's timing for everything, right? But we're moving out of here. Sad times, and it's again a great opportunity to kick off this vlogging. Because there's shift, there's movement, and I want to add to that momentum. I want to add to that shift. And here we are, moving from one flat to another. It's literally across the river where we're moving to. So we're currently based in Vilnius in Lithuania. Okay, so shout out to any of you guys that are from Vilnius and anyone that's visited Vilnius or Lithuania in general. I'm obviously originally from London, but yeah, this is where I find myself at the moment, and our base, very peaceful base, I may add, but maybe too peaceful, because maybe I'd have done quicker with trading if it wasn't so peaceful, or maybe I wouldn't even be here at all with this journey, and I may have given up completely. I don't know, but I know that I'm trusting God's timing, and I'm following my path with everything. But super exciting times. We're pleased to be moving, and I'm pleased to be where I'm at with my trading and taking it to the next level. Finally, bringing things into fruition with the trading side of things. And one thing I'll say as well, by the way, it's really nice to get out of the city you're from, or the country you're from sometimes. It gives you a different perspective. For me, as an Aquarius, or just maybe as myself, Dean, I don't know, or based on the life I've lived, I really enjoy taking a step back and gaining perspective. We're all different, of course. So whether it's you taking yourself to a coffee shop and you don't normally do that, to have some quiet time, or you taking that time out every day to read a book or just be with your thoughts and meditate, or whether it's taking yourself on a holiday on your own, or with a friend that you've never gone away with, or being extreme like me and moving to a Northern Europe country that gets extremely cold in the winter. My missus is going to be annoyed that I mentioned it, but it just gets too cold and I can't handle it. Like, my argument is, if we can't walk around naked, comfortable, like, it's too cold, or it's too hot, Well, I don't know about too, well, it can be too hot for sure. It definitely countries are too hot, it's just too much. But I like around, I don't know, 24, 26 degrees, or what is it, degrees centigrade, I don't know, but too cold right now. But the summers, winter, autumn, amazing. But good times. It's a good time to start vlogging. They say the best time to start doing X was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. That applies to investing, vlogging, this, that, anything you can think of that you want to be getting on with, and maybe you haven't done it yet and you're thinking about it. So, guys, I'm a natural for this, I think. I don't know if I'm a natural. I mean, you'll tell me that. But for me, this is something I need to be doing. I know there was a time in my life where I discovered Instagram, and I lived quite an eccentric life for a period of time, and I just documented it, naturally, organically every day, and I really enjoyed that. And I always think to myself, damn, like, why didn't I ever turn that into YouTube videos? So it had more reach and more kind of forever green. Obviously, I've got those memories to look back on, and I do, and I will, and whatever. That's amazing, 100%. And don't get me wrong, guys, the best memories are analog. Of course, you don't need them recorded. But for me, I love to share, I love to inspire, I love to document, as Gary Vee always says. Document. If you want to create real content, it's not about creating it per se, it's about documenting. That's like kind of number one. It's where the magic really happens, so on and so forth. But I don't know. Look, I'm a newbie here. I don't even know what my subscribers are right now. Currently, right now, it's probably 0 or 1. So what it is now, when you reach this video, I mean, mazal, as they say, right? If it's beyond what I just said, amen, right? Maybe I'm sitting like Mr. Beast in 10 years, and we've gone from, I think he hoped for 0 to 1 million within 10 years or something. I don't know. And obviously, he's sitting on like 450 million. I'm not looking for those numbers. I don't care about the numbers. I just want to be myself and document and see how we go. And yeah, share a few things and join me on the journey and hopefully connect and see where we go. But guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, drop a comment. And yeah, I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling good, and I think it's a marking a moment of change and shifting into action. Amen. Love you guys. Peace.